What is going on, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be breaking down my last two videos involving an incident with the Westlock RCMP. I'd like to cut to the chase here. So on Tuesday, May 9th, 2023, at exactly 11:20 a.m., I was involved in what the responding RCMP officers called a voluntary fight. Both parties consented, so no charges could be laid, which ended at exactly 11:27 a.m. It had caused a pretty significant laceration to my forehead that was expelling blood quite rapidly. That's not the issue at hand, though. What happens next is, upon the arrival of the RCMP, two officers, two cars, which I nicely waited for, while I had plenty of time to leave if I had chose. At the Westlock Husky Tags gas station, at roughly between 11:30 a.m. 12 p.m. Actually, it was 11:45, 11:46 a.m. I promptly pulled out my ID and I placed it on the hood of the cruiser and stepped back to not be a threat. I tried explaining the situation. I was bleeding, irate, probably concussed. I mean, let's be real here. And nobody at this point has offered medical attention or even asked if I needed it. But I did my best to explain the situation, given my current state. Everything seemed okay. I was doing my best to explain what happened while continuously wiping blood from my face. One of the officers steps to the side to talk to my wife, and that's when the bald officer seems to start getting like an ego complex. He starts to be demanding and full of attitude. I'm clearly distraught, injured, and yes, I'm a bit irate, but I'm not a threat. So instead of de-escalating or even attempting to de-escalate the situation, the officer in question, bald, got out of the Tahoe, then demanded me with a great amount of attitude to step back farther. You're bleeding everywhere. I don't want it on me. Well, I'm quite sure I hadn't moved much closer to him at any point, like leading up to this. While I may have mimicked his same attitude back to him, I also complied. I stepped back. I went back to my car, but he followed me. Well, assuming he didn't like my attitude, which certainly was not illegal, and literally immediately followed me while telling me to move back. While by my car, he over-aggressively grabs me by my arm and tells me I'm detained. Now, instead of cuffing my wrist, as he should have, right there, he immediately switches to a choke slam and cuts off my airway. Yeah. It just chokes me to the ground. Let's note, I have a large cut that's bleeding quite profusely out of my forehead, into my eyes and face. You know, he could have just as easily cuffed the wrist he already had a hold of. Instead, he assaults me to make himself feel bigger. Now, while I'm on the ground, they cuff one hand, yet he has basically his entire weight on my left arm, demanding that I give it to him. But he's not getting off of it. And to get on my stomach. While his partners knelt around me in a way, I can't really move my body. He also had a hold of the back of my neck with such force, leaving scratches and marks like some girly fingernails dug into my skin. I've got photos. They're right here. Then he physically places my head with a wide open 2-inch cut, gushing blood directly on the center of my forehead. I still haven't been asked if I need any medical attention, though this was probably apparent by now. Straight down, directly on the wound, directly on the oily old dirty crack needle parking lot. Yeah, meth lock. While still screaming at me to give him my arm and to cooperate, which is all I really can do in the pretzel they got me in. Not once was I asked if I needed medical attention before this. They muttered something about EMS after they did this to me, which I promptly denied, in probably no right mind to make these decisions for myself with a head wound. I should have had medical attention from the very beginning anyways. The cuffs left abrasions by this point, but he removes them after they figure no charges are going to be laid, and they allow me to have a cigarette. Which, I figure they should have figured all of that out before doing what they did. You tell me, though. What do you guys think? Comment box is down there. After that, he tied a thin gauze bandage thing around my head and then said I was free to go. I drove myself to the hospital with blood pouring down my face and eyes through the pretty poorly bandaged forehead. Likely not in a state to drive due to the fact that I had a very obvious head wound, probably a concussion, and was being visually impaired by blood. Neither of these officers identified themselves. I was denied a supervisor, even though in Canada I'm not sure if they need to give me one or to call one, but they didn't anyways. All of this was conducted without even asking my name and never searching my pockets. They had hardly even looked at the ID before this, to my knowledge. I've got marks all over my body, and we've documented them with photographs. Here's a few of them now. I've had a bruised esophagus and neck, throat, causing me great pain to eat, swallow, cough, laugh, sneeze for the days since. It's been quite uncomfortable. I've got an incredibly stiff neck. I'm a demolition derby driver, and I've came out of shows feeling better than I felt after this. My wife is a sole witness to this, and as well as unidentified bystanders. We have a few short videos my wife managed to get in her terrified state. That is the cell phone footage you guys seen. And the security footage from the parking lot above provided by the establishment owner. We are looking for a lawsuit. I've been reaching out to lawyers, newsrooms, as well as creating content just for you guys to see, share, and talk about. So a big thank you to you guys for watching this video. Please let me know in the comments what you guys think. Are his actions justified? Was I in the wrong? Is he in the wrong? Let's just talk about it. I want to know. I want this video shared. I would like it seen, and I would like it opinionated on by as many people as possible. Thank you guys for your time. You have a good night.